Those stories in just a minute, but first we're tracking severe weather in the Fox 9 viewing area. This is a look at a tornado touching down just outside of Hayfield this evening. That's about an hour and a half from the Twin Cities. In addition to that, a severe thunderstorm watch is also in effect.
So let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Ian Leonard, who is tracking the storms.
From infrastructure like homes and roads to activities like fireworks shows and amusement parks, flooding continues to wreak havoc across Minnesota. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Amy Hockert. Tonight we have live team coverage of these rising waters. Maury Glover tracking the impact in the metro. Courtney Godfrey tracking the impact in southern Minnesota. But first, meteorologist Jennifer McDermott has a look now at the forecast. Jennifer, any relief in sight?
Well, right now, a portion of the Fox 9 viewing area, including the Twin Cities, under a severe thunderstorm watch for us. This is a look at Woodbury, where you can see those bright bolts of lightning and hear loud roars of thunder as that weather rolled through. We've also learned a house was struck by lightning in Cottage Grove, sparking a fire that has since been put out. Meantime, near Gaylord, intense winds. This video shows them blowing both rain and debris at storm strength. Also in Gaylord, large trees leveled, more evidence of those strong winds. We're also tracking several power outages across the viewing area. There's that tree that was knocked over. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Randy Meyer.
And I'm Kelsey Carlson. Chief Meteorologist Ian Leonard leading off tonight with a look at the radar. Ouch, right? Rain and hail pummeling parts of the Fox 9 viewing area this Memorial Day. Here's a look at conditions in Maple Grove, where you can see and hear the intensity of that for a while. Certainly not ideal weather for boating or barbecuing or any of the many services we had today. Good evening and thank you for joining us here on this holiday weekend. I'm Kelsey Carlson.
And I'm Amy Hockert, also joined by Chief Meteorologist Ian Leonard, who's been tracking some of the rain and hail. Yeah, pretty wet weekend for us.
A smoke-filled sky to start the week. This is a look at Minneapolis today, thanks to wildfire smoke coming in from Canada. And tonight, it's still a bit hazy out there. This is a live look at the current conditions, but much, much better. We do remain under that air quality alert at this hour. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kelsey Carlson.
And I'm Randy Meyer. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Ian Leonard. Ian, the air quality alert we are under has been going on for well over 24 hours now, but set to expire soon?
Well, tonight, hundreds of tons of ice being insulated in Eagan after organizers there were forced to cancel this year's Minnesota Ice Festival because of this warm weather. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on Fox 9 and Fox Local. I'm Amy Hockert.
And I'm Randy Meyer. The Minnesota Ice Festival was scheduled to take place this January and February outside Minnesota Vikings TCO Stadium. Well, that's where we find our Bab Santos live tonight. He's standing by with more on the impact this cancellation will have on organizers and the guests. But first, let's go to Chief Meteorologist Ian Leonard with a look at those temperatures that forced this cancellation. And we start with what has become an unfamiliar live look. Snow falling here in Minnesota tonight. This is St. Paul, where you can see a steady flow of flakes flying. It comes after an unseasonably warm winter with little to no snow for many parts of that winter. Good evening. We're glad to have you with us tonight on Fox 9 and Fox Local. I'm Randy Meyer.
And I'm BC O'Neill. We have live team coverage on the snow we're seeing. Rose Schmidt is on the road in the metro, and Bab Santos is in the elements south of the metro. First, though, let's start with Ian Leonard for a look at the big picture.
A historic night for weather headlines as Wisconsin saw its first tornado ever in February. This is video taken in the parking lot of a McDonald's in Evansville. Meantime, in Minnesota, rain fell throughout the day, and tonight we could see thunderstorms. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on Fox 9 and Fox Local. I'm Randy Meyer.
And I'm Kelsey Carlson. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Ian Leonard. And so we saw that video out of Wisconsin. Not often that we see thunderstorms in February or weather like this across the region.
Well, the weekend's almost here after a spring-like week, including this vibrant rainbow seen right here outside our Fox 9 studios, shining down on Ian Leonard's Weather Center tonight. Gorgeous, right? Not far. Double rainbow between Eden Prairie and Edina. At least that's what it looked like to us. I'm not sure where
the colors were really bright.
Look for the pot of gold, couldn't find it.
Couldn't find it.
Good evening. We're glad to have you with us on Fox 9 and Fox Local. I'm Randy Meyer.
And I'm Kelsey Carlson. Chief Meteorologist Ian Leonard joining us with a look at the weekend ahead.
A wet but wonderful first day of the Minnesota State Fair. This is a live look at the fairgrounds tonight, where you can see there are still quite a few people out there in what really turned out to be a perfect evening.
Oh, look, Fox 9 is out there on the left.
Look at us.
Look at that.
Good evening. evening. We're so glad to have you with us on Fox 9 and on Fox Local. I'm Amy Hockert.
And I'm Randy Meyer. Let's bring in meteorologist Jennifer McDermott. Jennifer, we hope this weekend we'll have more fair-like weather for folks.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitche Gumee. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy.
It is the eve of the 48th anniversary of one of the worst shipwrecks in Great Lakes history, the tragedy captured in Gordon Lightfoot's song, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. The song gained even more significance when Lightfoot died at 84 this past May. Split Rock Lighthouse will mark tomorrow's anniversary with a ceremony. The names of the 29 men who lost their lives will be read, followed by a ship's bell toll. Afterward, the lighthouse's beacon will be lit. You may recall the ship sank as waves reached between 25 and 35 feet high. An unforgettable storm 48 years ago tomorrow.
Such a sad story. If you've never read anything about it, go read up on the history. Also, the museum at Whitefish Point in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, if you have a chance to go through that museum, the number of shipwrecks and how dangerous it was to go through that channel there.
In the song, you know, he goes, when the gales of November came early. They didn't come early. It is right here. The gales of November. And there is an actual definition for a November gale on the lake. It's winds of 39 miles an hour or higher.